Hello, welcome back to the channel today. So I just finished the Lagacy's Carina challenges, so just going to run through my thoughts on it, which path I took, and some strategies for it as well to help you guys out. And then at the end of it, we've got a 7-star basic to open as well. So let's have a quick look at the fight. So I go back into the quest here. And so pathwise I took Snipe Thrasher here, so it's got the Paradox breakdown, which is on I think all the paths, but the Paradox combo, so whenever the attacker gains 1 Paradox every 5 hits in their combo meter, so that's how you gain the Paradox. How you drop it is to knock the defender down, so you can do obviously heavy attacks or specials, but then it's also got a quantum control, so whenever the attacker strikes a defender, 1 buff on the attacker is nullified. This nullify effect is disabled if the attacker has 3 or more Paradox charges, so this one's quite important. And then each time the attacker has an effect to nullify, they receive some burst damage, so not ideal, but obviously there's ways to get around that, and it's got to make a stand with the protection as well there, so just got to keep knocking them down to get the protection off. So this first fight can be a bit tricky if you don't know what you're doing. But essentially what you want to do is, instead of trying to build poise to start with, because as soon as you do that you're going to gain a precision obviously, and then when you hit him you're going to take the burst damage. So what you need to do first is you need to get 3 of the Paradox charges, so essentially you just want to do straight up 15 hit combo to get the 3 charges, then you can start dexing to gain the poise, to obviously gain your damage. And with the Entropic Prowess node, each Paradox charge you have, you get 30% added to your special attacks. So obviously that's how you're going to be building your sort of like maximum damage on the node. So essentially, you get to the 15 hit combo. You can knock them down with with a heavy attack if you want to in the meantime, but it's not essential. But essentially that's all you want to do. Just get to the 15 hit combo first, so you've got 3 of the Paradox charges, and then that way when you do dex, gain your poise, you're not going to take any damage. So the first fight is kind of straightforward, that's fine. Then when you get into the second one here, again, not an issue at all there. You should have the Paradox charges already there. Obviously try to stay, try not to go over 12, because then you're going to take some more damage. But the Odin fight is pretty straightforward. Obviously you have class advantage, but it's not the end of the world. But again, with the Odin fight, build up to the SP2s, and then you're okay. With the Crossbones fight, this one's a bit tricky because you can't reliably parry him because of how he works. Obviously shrugging off debuffs, it's not ideal. So with this one I didn't use SP2s, I just used SP1s, and I used my Striker as well to get some in so I could knock him down. And then also I was punishing his heavy attacks when I could, and special ones with knocking down with a heavy as well, just to keep the Paradox charges down. So this one can be a bit tricky, but once you get into it it's okay. But ideally what you want to do after this fight as well is try to finish on ideally 10 Paradox charges at least. Well, to say at least, as many as possible. If you can finish on 10 or 11 or 12, then perfect, but 10 or more is ideal, but I'll go through that in a second. So when you go to S2 here, you don't want to go down the champion path here because it's going to be an absolute nightmare. So what you'll do is switch across here to Massacre. So this one the Paradox doesn't make any difference because it's not Paradox nodes. So you've got a few nodes here, but essentially they're all irrelevant. So when they either take attacker gains their own armor up buff or expires, or is removed by an armor break, they have a 30% chance of getting a Fury buff. And then you've got Scrapple, so whenever the attacker is afflicted with an armor break, the defender gains an armor up. Whenever the defender is inflicted with an armor break, the attacker gains an armor up. You've got that as well. So you've got covered in armor, so if you don't make an attack within 6 seconds, then you get your armor reduced, but essentially it's some free willpower healing, so that's quite nice. And then after a successful parry, the defender gets an armor break debuff as well. And they got bubble shield. So I mean, essentially there's not much going on here. It sounds quite technical, but it's not. So you just fight through the fights and you're okay. But again, with the with the Massacre fight, again, when you're gaining poise, you're going to have the armor break debuff on you, so you're going to be gaining some willpower, so that's fine. And then with the Overseer fight here, again, once you've used one SP1, then you're going to have the I can't remember which debuff it is. the special concussion debuff. So essentially it does nothing but it's just more free willpower healing. So use those 2 fights to get some health back, and then again go to Professor X, not to Super Scroll. Again, just deal with the Professor X here and then you're fine. Then with the Kang, this took me 2 revives. The first one was due to the way the boss works, is you want to dex to gain power or block to drain power, and you need to either finish the timer on a certain special attack, so either 0 bars of power, 1, 2 or 3. But then sometimes when you want to block to drop power, Spidey will auto evade, which is kind of annoying, so I died once to that. But essentially it's not a bad fight, to be fair. It's quite fun actually. I didn't mind it at all. So that boss isn't too bad. So again, that took me 2 revives. I did the path with no revives, so yeah, it wasn't too bad at all actually. Again, 2 revives, absolutely fine, can't complain. Then we go to 7.4.6. And the pass on here, most of them are quite tricky, but one of them is actually fairly straightforward once you get into it, which was the this path here with Mr. Sinister. So you've got a few different nodes in here. So you've got Power Technician. When a tech attacker is under the effect of Armor Break, Armor Up, can't read, they'll drain 50% of the defender's max power each time they perform a wild time block. So whenever you do that as well, you gain a 35% fury. So this is obviously the way you're going to be building your attack in these fights. So you've got dress code. Whenever the defender, the defender is passively unblockable, if you have an armor up on you, then it gets disabled. And obviously Starkey doesn't have any armors, so we're going to need to gain one. So every 5 hits in the attacker's combo, you gain 1 steadfast buff, allowing you to block 1 unblockable attack. And then you've got a special burst lockdown. Whenever the defender activates a special attack, the attacker is afflicted with both heal block and armor break. But then the most important one here is the enhanced parry. So after the successful parry, the attacker receives an armor up buff. Gaining armor rating for 15 seconds. Does not stack, but it's fine. So essentially what you need to do is you need to do this one here. So you need to gain 5 hits in your combo. So you just need to find an opening, either bait heavy or get an intercept. So you get your 5 hit combo off, and then you get your steadfast buff, and then that way you can land the parry, and then you gain your armor up buff. And once you've got that, then you'll find you're golden, because whenever you when you got your armor up buff, then this node applies. So then when you wild time block them parry, you're going to drain 50% of their max power. So you're going to always keep their power under control, and every time you do this, you gain a 35% fury. So after not too long, you got your 10 fury. So actually got your 350% extra attack, and you're golden. So happy days. With the Mr. Sinister fight, that was quite annoying, because obviously with Starkey on a big building poison, building crit damage, and he will regen a lot of it. So just build to SP3, to be fair. You can use SP2s and get the shock damage. Just make sure obviously you don't push him over bar power, so he can't transfer back to you. But with the Power Technician node, you'll be fine. But essentially it's not too bad. So yeah, you'll be fine there as well. And the Modok fight, this is probably the most annoying one, just because it's difficult to get your 5 hits off of mode with Modok, just because of the way it works. And obviously you can't parry it at the beginning, but once you get your 5 hit combo off, you get your parry, and then just keep his power under control, and just simply 3 hit him under parry, and then you'll be absolutely fine. Same with Bishop. Again, obviously Bishop is can be a tricky defender, but once you get your 5 hit combo in, keep him on the 1 bar power and you're fine. Same with Overseer. So when you get to Overseer, again, get an SP1 off and just chill, get some free regen. Same with Havoc here as well. Again, once you got your armor up buff, then you won't take his feedback damage. And then again, it's just free willpower healing, so happy days. Switch across the hood, finish that one off. I got to the boss here, I didn't need any items, and I got to him with like 95% health, so that was really good. And with the boss on here, again, I had to have a quick read through of the nodes on here, but essentially there's ways of getting in. So you need to either bait heavy, parry and attack him, intercept, or punish an SP1. And then when you get to phase 3, I think it was you can't do the same there you go. Yeah, the last 2 opening strikes part. So essentially, you can't parry and get your in like 2 out of 3 times, if that makes sense. So you can do like a parry and then bait a heavy, and then you need to do like an intercept or bait an SP1. But you get used to it when you get into the fight anyway. This one I think was 3, maybe 4 revives. I think it wasn't too tricky. I got him out of his first 2 phases pretty quickly. And then it was just basically chip damage, and I think I accidentally ate a couple of SP1s here and there, or took some. If you block the SP1s, you take you do take some damage and some debuff, so not ideal. So you don't want to be doing that. But in general, Spark is pretty good for auto evading them. So yeah, but in general, it's not a bad fight. It's fairly easy, to be fair, once you get used to it. So a couple of revives and you're okay. But overall, my thoughts on the challenge was actually it was pretty fun. Going through the paths, they were quite straightforward. The bosses, again, it's always good to fight the odd bosses, especially with different champs and stuff like that, just to sort of like relive, how you went through it the first time. You might have struggled the first time, that kind of thing, or might not have ideal counters and stuff like that. But in general, the challenge was pretty fun, to be fair. It didn't take too long. But yeah, I was quite happy with them. Obviously, the other 2 challenges are a bit more difficult and not really ones I'm going to be looking forward to. But overall, I think Lagacy hit the mark on this one. It was a fun challenge. It didn't take too long, and the rewards are absolutely fine. Obviously, we've got the 10k 7-star shards. We've got the emotes and got the title as well. So it's not too bad. Excuse me, my voice might be going pretty soon. I've got a bit of sore throat, so I do apologise. I don't know, did we restart on there? I just wanted to quit out this one quickly because we're not going to be doing it again. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on it, and hopefully that will help you with planning your path as well. But we do have a 7-star to open, so let's open it up quickly and see what we get from here. So 7-star lately hasn't been great, but let's hope we can change that. And so we get something either new or first time dupe. Anything new would be okay, just for like arena ports and stuff like that, just makes the grind a little bit easier. But in general, we'd like to get something useful out of here for a change. But let's see what we get. So, right, so we're going to be getting a 7-star version of. Oh God. Either side would have been first time dupes, and they would have been more than welcome. But a Gambit dupe is just. Oh man, I'm trying to be upbeat with these videos, but it's difficult when this is the kind of pull you get. I mean, no one wants to see a dupe Gambit. Absolutely no one. Absolutely no one. That sunspot would have been really nice, like really nice, but no. We do this guy. So a bit of crit damage rating and absorbing a bit more damage. Useless. So yeah, that's disappointing, obviously. But what are you going to do? I would like some better 7-star, to be fair. I do have some good ones, but just lately it's been absolute garbage after garbage after garbage. So hopefully that will change soon, but never mind. But anyway, the video is just to try and help you guys out with the challenge. So hopefully it was helpful in some aspects, but in general it's not too bad. So yeah, good luck with your challenge. You don't need to ascend them neither. I just had some dust, so I thought, well, I might as well, because 5-star settings to kind of whatever. But that's cool. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you've got any questions, just put them down in the comments. But other than that, take care, and yeah, till next time. Thanks.